Welcome to Faraday Junior YouTube channel. In this episode, we are going to look at a new topic under the simplex method. So this is a mixed constraint problem. This is a situation whereby you have a problem, whether being minimization or maximization, but then your constraints are mixed up with equal to, less than or greater than, and then greater than or equal to. Unlike the previous one that we've been doing, where for all maximization problems, you have your constraints to be less than or equal to, and for all your minimization problems, you have your constraints to be greater than or equal to. This time around, your constraints are mixed up with equal sign constraints, less than or equal to constraints, and then greater than or equal to constraints. So if you have a problem like this, how will you go about it? How are you going to solve such problem? This is what we are going to do in this particular episode. So let's take an example. Let's take this example. Let me clean this first. All right. So from this example, you could see that we have a maximization problem, and then the constraints. Instead of all of them being less than or equal to, we have an equal to constraints, and then we have greater than or equal to. This is not the usual maximization problem we've been solving. So if you have a problem like this, how do you go about it? So the first thing you have to do is to convert all of them or transform all of them into the standard simplex method. But this time round, there is a way of doing it because you have a mixed constraint. Okay, so let's take the first constraint for instance. This one that we have x1 plus x2 is equal to 150. You see, for the previous problems under maximization, the first thing we do is to convert our constraints to the standard form. We convert it, we change the inequalities to equal sign. But then this one is already given in the equal sign. So this seems to be in the simplest standard form already. But then let's look at something here. Let's take the origin for instance. Let's see if this equation is satisfied. You see, let's say here is x2 and then this is x1. So the origin is 0. So assuming x1 is 0 and x2 is 0, we have 0 plus 0, which is equal to 150. 0 is never equal to 150. So this is impossible. This is impossible. So we have to do something about it. Yes, since an equal sign indicates a strict condition where there are neither unused resources nor the possibility of overachieving a specified requirement, slack or surplus variables are not appropriate to be added. We can't add a slack variable nor surplus variable. So what do we do? So we have to introduce an artificial variable which is going to make the constraints look realistic at the origin and meet the strict equality condition. So let's see. When we have x1 plus x2, then we add the artificial variable a1. Now is equal to 1. So even when x1 or at the origin where x1 and x2 are equal to 0, we still have a1 to be equal to 150, which makes sense. Yes, so that's it. So whenever in a maximization problem, when you have a constraint with an equal sign, what you do is you just add an artificial variable to it and then you are good to go. So for our first constraint, we are done with it. This is how we are going to, when you transform it, this is what we are going to get in the standard simplex form. All right, so let's look at the second constraint. I think the second constraint is already in the standard form. The second constraint is already in the standard form. So what you do is to just add the slack variable, just like how we did for, or just like how we do it for normal maximization problem. But the third constraint, we're having a greater than or equal to, which we know that is normally used for minimization problems, but then this is a maximization problem, and then we have it here. So what do we do? Okay, so this is done the same way as we described in our previous video for minimization, sorry, for maximization problem. So surplus variable will be subtracted and an artificial variable will be added. That's all. So our third constraint will now become x2 minus s2 plus a2. The reason why I'm using s2 here is that the x1, the second constraint, as I said earlier, we just add a slack variable to it. So that one will take the s1. So this will be s2. This for the equal to 20. So that is it for the third constraint. So now our transformed model will be, let me clean it. I want to write it again. So our transform model, we have our constraints now to be, sorry, x1 plus x2 plus a1 to be equal to 150. And then we have x1 plus s1 to be equal to 40. And then we have x2 minus s1 plus a2 to be equal to 20. So now our non-negativity function or non-negativity restriction will now be x1, x2, s1, s2, a1, a2. All should be greater than or equal to 0. So right now we have to rewrite our objective function in the simplex standard form. In the simplex standard form. So how are we going to do this one? So max, the maximum of z is, we already have 20 x1 plus 10 x2. So as we all know, the coefficient for slack or surplus variables are always 0 in the objective function. All right, so for maximization problems, normally we don't add, or normally we don't add artificial variables. If you could remember, for the maximization problem that we did, the one that has its constraints all to be less than or equal to, there were no maximization constraints. So this one is a little bit strange, but then still there's a way to go about it. Because this is a maximization problem, and then our aim is to maximize the profit. A negative m value is therefore introduced for all artificial variables in the objective function, including those for equality constraints. Since this is a maximization problem, a large negative value will not be in the optimal solution. But if you make it positive, that will affect the optimal solution. So you make it negative so that in the process of the simplest iteration, it will just go out and then it will not have effect on our solution. So the coefficient of our artificial variables will now be negative m a1, negative m a2. So that's it for maze constraint problems. When you have it in the standard form, this is the simplex standard form. From here, what you have to do is to just draw your simplex, your initial simplex tableau. You fill it with your values. You find your pivot column, pivot row. You do for the second tableau, continue the iteration to So you get your optimal solution. Okay, so let me quickly add this. This is summarized for various constraint types and their resolutions. So when you have a constraint where it is less than or equal to, all what you have to do is just add a slack variable, and then when it is equal sign, you just add an artificial variable, and then when it is greater than or equal to, you subtract a surplus variable and then add an artificial variable. And then the objective function coefficient, the artificial variables should have negative m, and then the minimization problems will have positive m's. Just as that, if you're able to memorize this or understand this concept, I think you are good to go for any maze constraints problem. The difficult thing about the maze constraint is that you should be able to, once you're able to transform it into the simplex method or the standard simplex form, then you are good to go. The rest is just the simplex method. You just use it to find your optimal solution. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any question, you can write it in the comment section. We'll do all to get back.